right, friends, let's talk about the term near and far. So when something's near us, that means it's close to us. So let's write down those words. Near is close. And far means that it's not close, right? So when I see something close to me, usually I have lots of details, right? So if, let's say, example, our hands, let's put them really, really close to us. If we look at our hands really, really close, I can see all the bumps here. I can see my freckles. I can see all my tiny little hairs, right? I can see all of the wrinkles there. I can see all of my nail polish, right? And you might find all of these little details that you wouldn't have noticed if it weren't up close to you. However, let's think about if it was farther away. So I'm gonna move you guys for a second here. So this is my hand far away. I really can't see a lot of my details anymore, can I? Maybe I can see where my folds are. Maybe I can see my nail polish still. Maybe I can still see some of my redness or my hairs, right? But I really can't see a lot of detail. Sorry, I'm gonna move you back, all right? So the idea is when it's near us, that means that you also have details, right? But when it's far away, we don't really see it, so no details. All right, so that's our idea. Now we can even think about that by thinking about planets, right? So if we are really, really close to the sun, right, we might see the full sun, right? We might see its waves. I'm just gonna draw some little fun waves here. We might see some waves, right? We might see that there's like some hot spots, so some of it might be red, some of it might be yellow, some of it might be orange. We can maybe see some fire coming out of it, right? But when we're down in Earth, right, and the sun is really far away from us, what do we see? We just see a tiny, tiny little thing. Yeah, we can maybe see that it's yellow. Yeah, maybe we can see that it has some little kind of bursts coming from it, but not very much, can we? We can't see all of the details that we can when it's super duper close to us. So that's the difference between near and far. Near means that it's close and that there's details. Far means that it's not close and that there's not a lot of details. All right? So today I just want you to tell me what you learned about near and far. All right, I hope to see you all soon. Bye, my friends. Hi, friends. So as we're talking about near and far, I figured that we should also talk a little bit about overlapping. And we can see that with these fun little buildings that have little faces, right? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have something similar to that. Now, when something's near to us, that means that we see a lot of it, right? It means that it's close to us. We probably see the whole thing. When something's far away, it means that it's going to not really be something that we see a lot of. So we're gonna take that into mind as we make this today. So we're just gonna draw the beginnings of it today. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna start to draw a building, and it can be a rectangle kind shape, or you can add kind of fun things to it. So maybe I'll have a building right next to it that will have like a little spike, right? Maybe I'll have another building that will have like a little box kind of on the top. And so since these buildings are so close, right, we can probably see that there's the door. We can probably see all of the windows of it, right? And this is where, if you want to, you can make little faces, right? This is when I like to kind of add like, oh, here's their eyes, right? Here's their eyes right here. Oh, this one has far out eyes, right? And maybe I want to add little noses, right? And this guy has like a big nose like SpongeBob. So now there's gonna be buildings behind it. We're pretending we're in Minneapolis or downtown St. Paul, and we see buildings upon buildings, right? Streets have lots of buildings on them, right? And so now I'm going to make a building behind this. Now, sorry if you can hear my dog. So since this building is behind us, can we see the whole building? No, we can't, right? So I'm going to make this building where I only can see it. So I'm just drawing that one kind of line there, and maybe I can only see a little part of this next building, and I'll add kind of a curly Q to this one, make it really fun. And then I'll add this last building right here, right next to that. And this one, I'll just kind of add some spikies to the top. And look at that, my friends. Already, I can tell that these buildings live behind these buildings. And yet again, I can add my windows, right? I can add eyes, but guess what? Some of these eyes, we probably can't see all of the eye, right? I'll add a couple of windows here. We could probably see the eyes of this guy, right? And oh, this guy, his eyes probably are covered up. So we only see some of his eyes and probably a little bit of his window, right? And what if we want one less building in behind here? It's gonna be the tallest one, so I'm gonna just make it all super big too. So I'm gonna make this really big building, and their eyes are right here. Oh, look at it's being covered up again, friends, right? And then I'm gonna draw some lines to show I have my windows, right? And look at that, my friends. We just made a city with buildings behind one another. Don't you see that? So which ones are the closest to us? These, which makes them near us. Which ones are the farthest away? This guy. And he is very, very far away, so that makes him different, right? But that's okay. I'm sure that if he was close, right, we would see only a little bit. Make sense? So today I just want you to draw your buildings. You can add little fun details to the front of them. If you want to add eyes, you can. Remember, when they get farther away, we got to see less of them, right? The closer they are, we see the more details. Make sense, friends? And I'm excited to see how you guys make your buildings. All right, bye, friends. All right, so we're now going to color in our buildings. I'm just going to be using my marker here, and I'm going to be coloring in, and I'm using craftsmanship, right? Now, if we're not in school while we are making this, I do want you guys to use Seesaw to color it in with, okay? So we're just using our marker, and we are going as carefully as possible. And when we have all these little details that we had before, right, we're gonna do something a little bit different. So after we finish coloring it, I'm gonna pretend that we have colored all of our buildings right now. So here's our first building. We colored it all in. We colored all the rest of them. What I'm gonna now do is I'm gonna take a black marker, and I'm going to just trace around it. And we've traced before. We know what tracing is. And we're going to just trace out our whole building. And look at that. And that is all we're doing today. We're gonna just finish coloring. You don't have to worry about the background. We're just coloring all of our buildings. I really suggest to make them colorful, right? To have lots and lots of different colors for each and every one of these buildings, okay? And I'm excited to see what you all do. Bye, my friends.